Hi guys, welcome back to UKHWG. Now, you haven't seen a lot of us for the last 4 weeks, and there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, I've been having a little bit of a break from making videos. We've been making 3 videos a week now for the last 18 months, and I wanted a bit of a break from it. But what it's allowed me to do is to catch up in the garden a little bit. I've been really far behind this year because of the shed build and everything else. Over the last few days, Brian's got in touch and he's decided to step away from UKHWG and he's moved on to pastures new, and we wish him all the best in whatever he decides he's going to do. His new job has taken him away and he just doesn't have the time to sort of dedicate anymore, and that's why you've not seen anything of him over the last sort of 6-7 months. And as for myself, like I said, I've had a little bit of a break and now it's time to get back into things. But I thought I'd give you a tour. We are way behind what we should be. Some things aren't looking good and others are looking okay, but we'll get to that as we go around. One other thing I'd like to say while I'm here though, guys, I want to put a massive thank you out to all of our subscribers, new and old. We hit 11,000 subscribers a couple of days ago and I'm totally made up. It's fantastic what you guys are doing, supporting the channel and everything else. Keep supporting, keep viewing the videos, because it does mean an awful lot to me. And like I said, the channel's now back to a one-man band, so you'll only be seeing videos from myself from now on. So without any further ado, guys, we're going to get around the plot and have a look around. Right guys, so we grew 3 pears and 2 plums here as standards. Now our fruit plot backs onto Jim's plot, so so this is why you probably recognise some of that down there, but ours finishes on this sort of level here. We got a couple of stumps here, and these were trees that died back, and we cut them right off to a stump, and they've come, literally cut them off to a stump, look, and they've come back a treat. And what we'll end up doing with them now means they're so low, we'll end up creating fan shapes out of those. We've got a couple of espaliers here right along in this row, so we won't get many fruit or anything on these. They're only 2-year-old trees, and we've got a row of cordons here, or trees that were maidens that we were training as cordons. The raspberries, the autumn raspberries, are starting to come up, and the strawberries are doing really well. We've had lots of fruit off those, and there's still plenty forming on them. The blackberries doing really well now. They're starting to get established. I should have cut last year's kings out, but I haven't yet. Plenty of flowers have been on them, and we've got some that have gone down and hit the ground down there. So what I'm going to do is let that root, and then we'll cut him off and it'll be another plant for us. Gooseberries doing really well, loads of fruit on them, and it's getting to a good size now as well, look. So yeah, so I'm quite happy with the gooseberries. I'm hoping we'll need to top dress some of these for next year, but it is what it is. Blueberries again doing really well. I mean, this plant is full of fruit, and we'll get these netted very shortly. I mean, look at it, it's fruit everywhere on them, so that's all good. Honeyberries, a little while ago we did a video on these honeyberries, and we had a few comments about the fact that we massacred the honeyberries. Now that was for a couple of reasons, okay. We cut them right back because they didn't have any structure. They were just a mass of tangled, sort of webbed roots and all sorts, so we decided to cut them right back, and a few of you thought we'd killed them. Well, this is how they've reacted to that pruning, so they've come back really well. Same on that one there, and the same on that one up there. Now we've got a netted area here, which we did today, and we've been filming that, so that'll be in our next episode. And basically this is our red and black currants, and as you can see, the red currants are doing fantastic. We right along, it's like this. It's just currants everywhere. So they are absolutely everywhere, and we need to we wanted to protect them, so we've netted these, and there is a video next in a couple of days time coming on this, and I got a lot to say about this netting. It's really good stuff, so so we'll have a talk about that then. Now we need to get up to the plot. So we built a fence here, and that's to shield the marrows, and behind here we direct sowed some runner beans, and these were direct sown late because the polytunnel's being used as a storage place for the shed, so we never got around to planting them, and we've had some really poor germination, so we're gonna have to get some more in. One of our marrows here, this is a spare because we actually lost, or we had a marrow vine split, and I'll show you that in a moment because it's still in the polytunnel. Another of the marrows here, the giant marrows, this one's looking a lot better. Over here we've got, this is our hanging basket post which we've made, and hopefully that'll bring a bit of colour into the area once the marrows grow across the ground. There's one of our third marrows here, and what we've done, we've just wrapped these beds with some canes and some plastic just to keep the wind off them, because like I said earlier on, we've had 4 weeks of rain, but the winds have been like 60-70 mile an hour. It's been atrocious up here. Again there, and there's our fourth marrow there. So it's all looking good. We have some red onions here, doing really well, and we've got some white onions there. Our garlic is doing fantastic. It's coming up ready to harvest, and it's got a little bit of rust, but the stems on them are really thick, so we should be doing all right with that. Right, down the bottom on this half of the plot, we've still got a potato experiment going on in the buckets and the row down there, so they've both had similar amounts of water and feed. And then we planted another few buckets and 4 or 5 rows of potatoes along here about 3 or 4 weeks later, so they're behind again, but they're main crop. Here again, we planted giant beans and we direct sowed these, and only 2 have come up, and I'm suspecting a lot of this is down to the amount of water that's been on the plots. I think it's just rotted off the seed. Likewise with our collies, they came up really well, but as you can see, we've got tiny little collies in them, but they're going to go to seed in probably a few days, so we're going to cut those heads off and we'll sow some more. The broccoli are coming up okay. We direct sown some broccoli as well as a second row, but the weeds are just crazy because of the rain we've had, and again I haven't got in there and sorted it out. Beetroot, that row end is okay, but the one next to it hasn't come up again, so we've had a lot of failed sowings. The Swedes are doing okay, so that's really good, and we got another row of potatoes in here for later on. Now our corn has done absolutely terrible this year. We put it in this ground and it's got hammered with the water. It started going a bit yellow, and I've never grown corn outside. I've always grown it in a tunnel. I'm hoping with a bit of sun and some feed this is going to pull back, and we'll get a crop out of all of these. Over here I've got 4 cabbage. On the Facebook group, people have been asking why there's cling wrap around them. This is pallet wrap, and it's again to protect them from the wind. They're doing okay for giant cabbage. This one's about 2 foot, 2.5 feet in diameter at the moment, so I'm hoping that that they'll get a tad bigger, like, you know. This one over here, something has been having a crack at the leaves. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think it's slugs, because I haven't seen any around here, and I can't see anything on there. There's a bit of white fly I think coming. You could just see it there, look. So we'll need to give them a little spray or something and get rid of them before they start. and I can just see a couple of holes appearing in the leaves in this one as well, and again a little bit of white fly in them. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to get them sorted out. This is a bit of a mess. This is the old brassica cage, and they've left it go like this because we let the the sprouts that were in here go to seed. And once these pods are ready, we'll harvest what we want off them, and then we'll clean this out and we'll plant something else in there. So that's that. The figs are doing really well, and there's that little grapevine that was left on my doorstep in that bucket, and that's bushed right out really nice. And what we're going to do later on in the year, it's going to be planted down there in the middle of that fence, and it's going to be trailed across that fence there. These brassicas here are all reject cabbage that I had as spares. They can end up in the compost. The shed was tidied up a little bit. I've still got some stuff around. We put a table in here just so I can make a cupboard and what have you, but most of it's been tidied. Nothing has been done to finish that yet. So going around here, my wood store's a bit of a mess because we've been building the netting and we've been using timber from that. As you can see, guys, our water situation is totally full. All 8 of our tanks, so it's 8,000 litres sat here, are overflowing at the moment. This is the first dry day we've had in 4 weeks, so it's mad. Here are our giant potatoes in buckets. We've got 4 in 45 litre buckets and 2 in 60 litre buckets, and we're hoping to get a single tuber out of each of these, and they're looking good. So we just got to keep watering and feeding them, and we'll see how we go with that. We have some dahlias here, and they need to go out. They're getting a bit hot, so we'll do some watering in a moment now. Our normal tomatoes are all doing okay. They're coming up first and second trusses on some of them, so that's all good. Now that marrow I was telling you about, you can see the difference in the sizes here on the floor, but basically what happened, cause I had to leave them in here for so long because of the wind, that it was hanging over the basket, look, and just there it cracked. So I didn't want to risk putting this plant in. Although it might grow, it might split even more and that'll be the end of it, so I thought I'd put a spare in. Here we've got some aubergines and some chilies. They're all doing okay, and we got a couple for long chili here. I gotta get the flowers off those. I don't want them flowering just yet. A couple of mega bells there, but again they're not doing too great. So some cucumbers, they're doing okay. That one's not doing very good, but I think that's probably because of the shade. In the grow room then, we've collapsed down 2 of the fences now, and we've turned some of the soil over. We need to get some organic matter in there. And up here we've got a couple more of the marrows that are spares, and down here we got some sunflowers that we planted. This is how long they've been here. They're now up through the top of that, so I'm gonna have to be really careful when I get them out of there and put them in the ground. We've got some celery over there that needs to go in, and a few bits of cabbage and things up there. Here, guys, now 8 weeks ago I planted 5 tomato seeds, and all 5 of them have just come up, believe it or not. So I need to plant them on now and get them established. But literally it's been 8 weeks for them to germinate and get to that state, so I don't know what the hell's been going on. I got some more broccoli here I got to plant on. Down here we've got a couple of marrows, one long, one heavy there, and we've got a long and heavy there as well. So we're going to get them in the ground very, very shortly. We've got various pots of flowers that we need to pot on and get into hanging baskets or whatever the case being, as you can see right along there. Now a little while ago we did an episode on grapes, and I had quite a few questions, people asking how you propagate them. Well, these are Glenora black grape, okay, and we literally just cut them just below a node and stuck them in a pot. and 1, 2, 3 of those have taken out of the 2, 4, 6, 7. So it's a 50-50 sort of deal there. It's as simple as that, guys. It's a case of shove them in. You could help by damaging the bark a little bit or putting some rooting compound on it, but I didn't even bother. I just stuck them in it. I've got 3 new plants. That's the way I'm looking at it. Talking about the grapes, as you can see now, we've espaliered these grapes and they've now reached the very end, so we'll cut them off and tie them in. This one has started putting off all new growth here, so we'll tie that in. So we'll have our 3 layers on this grape here. It goes up over the top there, and as you can see, we have grapes on it, and this is a 2nd year plant, and it goes right the way over there. Now this is just a 2nd year plant, guys, and we've got grapes, so I'm well chuffed. We've thinned them out not to overstress the plant, so there's only a few grapes going on it, but I thought, well, if they're there, I'm going to leave them go. So again, along the bottom truss, the middle truss, they've come to the middle post, and I've ended them, and the top truss is exactly the same. Now the black grape is doing really well as well. We've managed to get 2 new shoots at the bottom for the bottom truss, so that's good, so we can train them in. This one, middle truss, is nearly at that end, and then we'll end that. And we've got one going up there. Across the top though, we've got one that goes right across, not 1 beam, but 2 beams. Excuse me with the sun, guys. I'll see if I can come to the other side of it. And it's actually coming all the way over here to this 3rd beam. So we're going to end that, and what we'll do, we'll end up turning it and bringing it across this beam here, and bringing one of them side shoots across that beam. So literally every beam will more or less have grapes running across it. It'll help to shade the tunnel off a little bit. The 2 vines going across here are doing really well. They've hit the end as well, so we'll end them at that point, and we may take one of these ones off and carry it across this beam here. Down here we've got giant carrots. They're looking okay. And same thing here, so I'm hoping they'll swell out a lot more than this, but they're a bit small compared to most people's, but hey, it is what it is. Giant parsnips, I don't know how well these are doing. Oh, that's quite a big circumference on that one, so I'm hoping they'll be okay. And this one, I can't feel it. Well, it's down deeper, but it is there, so I'm hoping that they'll be okay as well. So it's all good in here. Along the side here, I went up the old plot and I dug up some of my comfrey, and I've split it and brought it down here, so over time now this is going to establish, and I'll be able to make my feeds again out of the comfrey. I'm still taking it from up there, but I want it down here on this plot. I've got some there, some here, some there, and a couple around the back. The pond's in shade at the moment, but it was doing really well earlier on today. The sun was there. There is fish in there. You might see one rise now in a moment. We've got a nice new lily pad in here. The marsh marigolds and the grasses are all doing really well. All the hostas are all back up. What we need to do is finish this area now and tidy it up. But even this hosta is just about to flower, look, guys, so it's looking really good. But it's nice and shady here at the moment, so it makes a nice seating area when you need to just get out of the sun a little bit, you know. And we've seen loads of little tadpoles in here earlier on in the year, and we've seen some baby frogs, and they're in and out of the fake rock wall. Now I'll put a link in the top corner for this pond build, because I know loads of you wanted to know how it was built, and we have shared it, but I'll put a link up there again. It's got some really good features that allow you to keep fish and wildlife, which a lot of ponds won't allow, because they, you know, the fish will eat the eggs and all sorts of stuff. But it seems to be working quite well here. So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode, and I hope it was of interest. Like I said, stay tuned for the episode to do with netting that fruit area, because I think it'll help some of you who are looking to net off fruit and things like that. Like I said, I want to wish Brian all the best for whatever he's doing. We're back to a one-man show now, and it's going to stay that way. I'm not going to bring anybody else in to do it. We're just going to hack on as we were before Brian came along, and that way there's no issues and what have you. And again, I just want to thank you all for everything you're doing, supporting the channel. Share our videos, tell all your friends about us. It'd be great if we could get up to a few more thousand this year, and really start getting some numbers into the channel. But you guys, we can't thank you enough for it. Comment in all our videos. We love engaging with you guys and chatting back and what have you, and we do our best to answer every single question that comes through. If we miss it, just put a reply there, and we will get there. For some reason it's been dumped into our sort of bin on our email or something like that. And that's pretty much about it for this episode, guys. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.